What if Deku had a mixture between his mum and dad's quirk? Alright, so in this series, well, this episode, we're going to be talking about how Deku has a mixture between his mum and dad's quirk. It's going to be pyrokinesis. That's how you say it, right? Isn't it? An emitter quirk. Basically, his quirk is a mix of his dad's fire breathing and his mum's telekinesis. The quirk allows him to produce flames from his mouth and is able to have complete control of his fire. Right, okay. So we start our story off in a hospital. Inko and not Toshinori. Well, Inko and his Deku's dad are in a hospital room with baby Deku in her hands, and his quirk manifested about like 5 minutes after his birth. And the doctor's clipboard got burnt because he just spouted out like a little tongue of fire. So, doctor isn't pleased, but you know, it's not that bad. So, basically, after that, his dad, who was a former pro hero, like 5 years before Deku was born, I'm just gonna say it was like top 30, yeah, top 30 maybe, top 50 maybe, so like pretty well off. He had a company, a support hero company, because he's just that kind of guy. I just want to make him smart. I want to change up the story a little bit, dabble a bit. So basically, Deku's mum doesn't go for that like nice, you know what I'm talking about. The Inko very, how can I say it? Fit Inko to fat Inko. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that happened. Well, that doesn't happen. So let me go into this story. He changes school because of his father's support hero company. Not support hero company. Support tech. Yeah, support tech company. Like getting a bit successful, like very successful. So he leaves, and we won't be seeing him for another 12 years. So yeah, that's fun. But he goes to a different school, and that means his relationship with Bakugo doesn't happen because, I want to mix it up. So instead, he goes to a private school with Kirishima and Mina. I actually forgot what it's called. Yeah, I forgot what the school's called, but I'll find out later. Anyway, he goes to Kirishima and Mina. So basically, both in middle school. I'm going to skip the elementary school, don't care about that. Since he's not with Bakugo, nothing happens really. No, actually, he's homeschooled. Yeah, he's homeschooled until middle school. Jesus Christ. Until middle school, where he's in a class with Kirishima and Mina, as I said before. Right. So what would he be, about 10? 11? No, 9, 10? Middle school? I'm not sure how it works in Japan. Yeah, maybe that, I don't know. So, yeah, basically that's what I'm going to say. So, he's a bit timid at the start. Staying on the back, like, people in his middle school know of his dad. Because, like, his dad's get more famous. Yeah, more famous because after he retired from being a pro hero, his like company just skyrocketed for some reason. Like, big heroes use his equipment, like, let me think, like Endeavor might use something of his, I don't know. I'm thinking because he got fire quick, maybe Endeavor. Yeah, might as well Endeavor. Anyway, So basically, he's a bit timid, like, because he's reserved. He hasn't made any friends because he was in, like, home tutored by Inko. But then, like, his dad rang up and, like, hey, I don't want my son to be a weirdo. Put him into a middle school. So that happens. He's going to be the same size. Yeah, same size as he is in canon, because it's just fire breath in it. It doesn't really... No pyrokinesis. It doesn't mean he'll grow any bigger. But anyway, when he's in first day of class with Kirishima, they're all showing off their quirks, because, like, first day, some of them knew each other, some of them didn't, but, you know, it's just like a ritual thing or whatever, basically, to see what's happening. Kirishima shows off his quirk, hardening, obviously. Scares the life out of some people. Mina shouts out, "Oh, that's really cool." And then she starts chucking acid at a desk, and the teacher is like, "Mina, get out," because that's what I'm imagining she'd be. She gets kicked out of the classroom, so she doesn't see Deku's quirk, but she hears it, or sees the light anyway, when it's Deku's turn, which is now. So Deku comes up to the front of the class, and he's like, "I'm Izuku Midoriya." I'm just calling him Deku. He doesn't have Deku nickname, but it's Izuku. So basically, he comes up, and he's like, "I'm Izuku Midoriya." I think he's like, 10. Call him 10. I can retcon it if it's nothing too bad. Basically, I'm Izuku Midoriya, and my quirk is, well, it's pyrokinesis, but pyrokinesis, but the fire comes out of his mouth, obviously. Ooh, a bit there. So basically, he just shows the example. Like, at the moment, he can only control a little ball of fire, like, I don't know, like 10 centimeters big. Yeah. Well, actually, 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters in his hand for like about 10 seconds before it disperses. And it's like, I want him to have levels of fire. So, like, he's like right at the bottom, like, like, you know, an open Bunsen burner. Not too hot, but like, not, can't burn your face off, like, can still do the thing. So he shows it and then has a fireball in his hand, starts moving it around him, and then it disperses. And then Kirishima's like, "That's a pretty cool thing, cool quirk." And like, him, Mina, and Kirishima become good friends for about... No, they are good friends, but it's mostly like Kirishima and Deku. And then Mina's just like there sometimes. She's got her own friendship group, don't know who it is. But I read on the wiki they went to the same school, so there we are. So, like, by age 13, Kirishima, I think, has this fascination with Red Riot. I think so. So, that's about the time he dyes his hair, spikes it up, starts training, and he gets Midoriya to do the training with him. So, what am I gonna say? I think by the time, like, after about 5 months, he's about the same built muscle cardio endurance as he was in canon before, at the end of the 10 months. So, you know, he's pretty strong. He's a pretty strong lad for his age. So him and Kirishima, and I'd say Kirishima is a bit bigger because he's got someone to train with, and his hardening quirk's been more tested because Deku and Kirishima have been training their quirks as they've been going along. So, like, Kirishima's hardening, I'd say, it's stronger because he's, like, more resistant to a bit of heat. So, like, he'd probably do well against Bakugo's blast, I think. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to think of that. Anyway, so basically that was when they're 13. when it comes to 14, like 10 months before, I'm gonna say like the last day. I'm gonna skip a bit, time skip, because like they literally just go to a gym, cardio training, with the bench press. So you can see like significant personality change with Deku and Deku canon, Deku my head canon now. So Deku's more confident now. He's more outgoing. He's basically like Kirishima, except he keeps his smarts because of Inko, and Inko making him do more lessons. So, and he still has fascination with heroes, but it's not as fascinated with All Might. It's like, you know how Hawks has spoilers if Hawks has a fascination with Endeavor. Like Izuku has a fascination with Endeavor because he does the same thing as Izuku with his Hellfire. So I'm gonna say it's all equal fun. Like he doesn't know about Shoto being or anything, how he treats him, but he's like on there. He likes Endeavor because of his fire technique. But anyway, by the start of the anime, it's like after there's no attack he's not around with the attack with Mount Lady and Kermy Woods, I don't know, the wood guy. He's pretty cool, I actually like that guy. Anyway, after that, like, that doesn't happen, he's not there, but that's just a time period, so you can get in your head. So basically, by then, his dad came home after like 12 years of like only like popping in for a day because like his company's going like 100 miles per hour. Like his family's minted now. He's like living in a mansion, but he's barely home. He's just barely home. But since he was a former pro hero, like minor but still counts, he helps Deku train his fire breath more. So basically, he trained his body to become heat resistant because of his dad. So we got humidity. What would you call it? Humidity chamber? Yeah, like a steam room or whatever. So basically, he would train in there, exercise in there. So he would become more resistant to heat, so he doesn't suffer from heat stroke. Like you see, like Endeavor at like the end of season 4. I'm not gonna say what happens, but he gets like his fire starts hitting him. But now, like, he's training in the humidity chamber, so he's more resistant to fire, not as in like the heat. And like he's been using, what do they use? Blow guys. What they call fire breathers. They use their oil, and he starts just like puts it down and then bursts the fire, so it's like stronger than he would if he was just doing the fire. So his neck gets more resistant to fire, so he can use it longer, if you get what I mean. And also he holds the fire now, like he's got the fire in his hands, holding it for about, what did I say, he was 10 seconds in middle school? I'm gonna say 10 seconds in middle school. He can hold it for, like, if he needs to, a good 45 seconds. Like, he's done a significant job because of his dad and his mum teaching him tricks. Like, Inko, haven't really talked about her, but like, she's still got a job just in case, but she's got a stronger version of her Quirk, like only like 5 times stronger. So she's just telling her how to like move fire in and out, but with a small object. Obviously, she can't move fire. But yeah, that happens. Right. That 10 months happens. he does that training that I've previously discussed. Him and Kirishima, they train a bit. Mina Ashido. She's not as training as like those two. She's more easygoing. So you're not gonna. They don't really see her for the 10 months, like maybe once or twice. But that's about it. So I guess it's the entrance exam. Him and Kirishima are walking in. I'm gonna do the entrance exam, and then I think I'm gonna leave this episode here. So basically, him and Kirishima walk up to the entrance. No, he picks up Kirishima in his. What car should he have? Let's say limo, and like his butler comes out, opens the door. Him and Kirishima pop out. Everybody's staring like, ooh, rich boys. They can see Bakugo in the background. Like, you can tell Bakugo's there. They notice him immediately because of his. He's just letting off explosions because someone's in his way. It's like, move, nerd. To like the randomer. Like, he doesn't even notice Kirishima or Deku. Because like, he's gone worse. Because he had no one to like humble him. Well, not humble him. Show he's not invincible. So basically, he ran that school. He was the only one applying. Excuse me. Oh, I got a bit. Applying for UA there, so he's godly. They held him up as like the next big thing in there. So Bakugo's going to be a bit more aggressive when it comes to fighting and being in personality wise. So, right, Deku's smart because his dad's pretty smart as well because he set up the business and he's making new innovations with his support company. They actually work with UA, so like they're not like major with UA, but they got a pretty good deal. So like Deku could have got a recommendation, but wanted to do it with Kirishima because like it's not manly to do. Like he's gotten on board with a manly thing as well, not as much as Kirishima, but it's not manly just to take the easy route. So they walk in. He doesn't fall, obviously, because Kirishima and him are pretty good with their own bodies. They're not going to fall like a little ragdoll. So they are in the, written part. He's pretty smart, so I'm going to say he gets about, he's not a genius, but he's smarter than in the anime, so I'm going to say top 5, he gets fifth place. Kirishima's a little bit smarter, so he gets like 2 above what he normally is. I don't think it's said in the anime, so I have no idea what he is. So after that, I reckon that... No, I don't reckon. It is the robot. Yeah, the robot test. What's it called? The engine. No, the actual engine. The practical exam. So basically, the whole thing happens, except Ida only stands up to talk about the 0-pointer. Doesn't talk about anything else, because, like, Bakugo, he's got no one sitting by him because he's on his own. Because they did it in, like, schools. So, basically, he's sitting all high and mighty, but he's not making any noises. No interaction with Ida, actually, yeah. Because him and Kirishima are just tight, so nothing's going to happen with them. So they go into the arena. They're obviously separated. And I'm going to say Kirishima's in the one with Bakugo, so he sees all Bakugo's skills. And Deku's in the same... I would say Deku's in the same one as he normally is. So, like, he's calmer. And he's, like, meditating because, like, in the 10 months, his dad taught him like boxing. I'd say boxing and kickboxing because that's what his dad was pretty good at before. Let's just say he was a high school champion. That's why he became a pro hero or whatever. So he's basically doing that. He's meditating. Wait, the boxing and the kickboxing have nothing to do with that. But he's meditating, boxing, whatever you call it. And he comes along. He sees Uraka. Yeah, Uraka? I think that's how you say it. Anyway, he sees her doing like sort of having a panic, but like not obvious. So like he's gonna walk over. He walks over and says like, "Are you alright?" And then basically teaches her like a breathing method. But Ida takes this the wrong way because he's one of those guys that takes it the wrong way. So he comes along and be like, grabs onto like Deku's arm, shoulder, but his dad is like instilled like he wanted to do awareness and like sensitivity, so like if he gets touched, Deku automatically produces like, oh sorry, burping again, pretty late actually, so I'm just a bit tired, but basically he produces like a small fire and then like put it right behind his head, so like he doesn't have to turn around, but like it like flashes and light. So basically he's got like a flashbang basically. So Ida gets the shock of his life and like he's stumbling around. Deku's like apologising, like reverting sort of into his like timid state at the start, and then he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and he just like shakes it off. After like 30 seconds, he shakes it off, and he's like, "What was that? You can't use your quick." And he was like, Deku's just explaining like, that's just instinct. Now my dad trained me, so sorry, I can't stop that. If it feels like there's malice coming at me, then it just happens automatically. Sorry. Anyway, so he just like, he's a bit humbled, but he's like, you shouldn't be talking to other people. It's distracting. And basically, Uraka comes to defend Deku after her rubbing her eyes, getting a flashbang effects out of the way. Basically says, no, he's trying to keep me meditating, and I'm feeling much calmer now. So basically, that happens. Ida like walks away, like pride a bit hurt because he got like a double whammy with a flashbang, and then Uraka telling him he's wrong. So about 5 seconds later, the gates open. Present Mike does the 3, 2, 1, go. Real heroes don't wait. And then I'm gonna say, because of his dad, he's learned how to use his flames from his mouth, obviously, to like accelerate him. So he basically like uses the burst of energy coming out to like move faster. So he's about half of Ida's pace. No, like Ida's like quicker than him, but like not significantly. Like you know, Usain Bolt in like tournament or what? No, the Olympics. Like when he like looks at the camera and smiles, like that distance. But like relatively speaking, boy with engines, boy with fire, that sort of distance. So basically, he's racking up more points. He's not like wondering, oh my god, I can't find points. He does decently, not top. He's not going to get top because like that's stupid. He's not. Bakugo can literally just blow stuff up. So I'm going to say he does well. Like he's racking up 3-pointers, 2-pointers, 1-pointers. He's getting about doing pretty well. Like before the 0-pointer comes, he's about coming in 5th with the most points. No, yeah, so he comes in 5th with the most points, and then he hears a scream whilst everybody's running away from the 0-pointer. He hears a scream, and he's like, automatic Deku run into trouble like a Muppet, but runs in there, and he sees Uraka, and he sees the 0-pointer, and he's thinking, I'm gonna have to melt this thing. So like this is where you see his max heat. Like, he's never done this before, but like desperate times, desperate measure. He basically uses his flames to push himself up to, I'm gonna say, the ankles. The treads of the 0-pointer. He's planning to just like make a tip to the left, because there's no building. It's just like a main double highway, dual carriageway. Yeah, dual carriageway. So basically, he just like drops. His flames come up blue out of his mouth, and then he's like producing about. He's like engulfing the tires, like the treads, in this blue fire, and he's controlling it. His mouth is like scorched inside now. Like, he's proper messed up his mouth, but he's still going. Treads melt, 0-pointer tips. And then he lifts off the rubble from Uraka. Took a little bit longer, but the 0-pointer couldn't move because of the fire and all the heat was melting it. So like its functions in his leg weren't working right, so it tips left, collapses, poof, massive explosion, can't get up, can't move, so it's no risk to anybody. He lifts up the rubble from Uraka, and she's like, thank you very much, what's your name? Because she didn't ask before. But Deku literally can't speak because he's burnt his mouth, so he's like, nah, I can't speak, shaking his hand by his neck like, nah, I can't speak. And then Present Mike shouts, end of the exam. So whilst all of that was happening, all the teachers were up in the monitor room. All Might hasn't given his power because like the sludge villain attack didn't happen, so he never met Deku. But he's still thinking, I'm probably gonna give it to Mirio. But like, he sees the bravery in Deku, so he's contemplating it. He's not in a rush because, I'm just gonna say his time limit isn't as bad. Yeah, I reckon time limit isn't as bad. So like, he's got more time before like he desperately needs a successor. So he gets out of the exam. Kirishima's like, bro, how'd you do? And then like they see Mina, and she's like, oh my god, that's a massive spider. Sorry to interrupt the video, but that is a massive spider. Right, and it's gone, I think. Right, now it's gone. Yeah, it disappeared. Spider's gone. Back to the what if. Basically, they see Mina as she's coming out. She's like, oh my god, I did so well in the robots, but I didn't get marks in the written exam. She gets the same marks. And Deku and Kirishima are laughing because, like, she's a bit dumb, so like that's what they expected. So he's on their way. They're both on their way home, and I'm gonna skip forward to like they received the letter. So they've got the letters now. Like, he opens up the letter. Excuse me. The letter arrives. Inko's like, no, the butler comes and gets it. Oh. The butler comes and gets the the letter, and then hands it to Deku. He reads out, and it's All Might saying, well done, getting the points. I'm going to say he gets around 50 villain points and 60 hero points. Oh no, so he does technically he gets the top score, but like not in villain points. He gets the top score. he gets the top score. So he's like, well done, young Midoriya, for getting 110. Yeah, 110 points. We'll be glad to have you in UA. And then it cuts off, and he's like, goes to Kirishima, and he's like, bro, I got in. And then Kirishima's, same. And they're like, yeah, well done and all. So basically, that happens. They're happy. He tells his dad. His dad's very happy with him as well. He says, when I come round, we'll come and celebrate. So he, like, drops all his work for once and, like, comes over, and then they have a celebration, like, takeaway or whatever. Casual, nothing, like, expensive. They're rich, but his dad's still, like, when he was younger, like, the food. He doesn't really like expensive stuff. Inko, on the other hand, loves it. So, like, they have a takeaway, celebrating, and then we're going to skip a week. Do I want to skip a week, or do I want to leave it? No, I'm going to leave it for the next episode, actually. Yeah. I'm going to leave that for the next episode, so basically this is my first what if, so it's not going to be perfect, but it is what it is. I'm just doing it because lockdown is boring and I need something to do. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, if you're still here. If you're not, then you know, oh well. But thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time.